Hello, my name is Santiago Alvarez, and today I'm going to continue talking about a flipped classroom and how you can get started with your own students in your classroom as well. So let's first start off with our flipped classroom and how we can discuss several things to get us started. So a sample way would be, let's take the subject of math. So the day before, the students were assigned to watch their instructional video created by the teacher yourself on multiplying whole numbers by a decimal. Other students were tasked for homework to watch a video on multiplying a decimal by a decimal because they've already mastered the previous skill. And another group of students could also be working on a previous lesson before multiplying a whole number by a decimal. So you may get students working at 3 different levels, but that's okay. We can show you how you can get through the day, even though students are working in different areas. So as they continue, let's start with the day. Students arrive to the class during their math time, and they immediately begin working on problems from the lesson. So no longer are they sitting down taking notes while a teacher instructs them and shows them how it's done whole group. Now they jump in and get started with their work right away, taking the notes out that they took previously from watching in their instructional videos. So a teacher is a great way for students to ensure they watch is to provide notes and have students take notes on the video. And you can provide them with one-sheeters where they can take notes as well. During this time, as students begin working on problems in the lesson, the teacher is able to walk around and monitor different groups of students and chime in wherever necessary and provide some extra support. And yes, you may get those students that we mentioned in the previous videos that do not watch the video at home, so they can begin the day by watching those instructional videos and taking notes. Lastly, other students in the classroom can be working collaboratively using the Kagan strategies, while others may be able to work alone. So for example, if we were to look at a classroom here where we have our teacher area in the back and our classroom set up with groups of 4, and so this group over here may be working together in one lesson, multiplying a decimal by a whole number. Another group over here may be a little bit higher group where they're working on multiplying a decimal by a decimal. This other group can be working on a previous lesson together before multiplying a decimal by a whole number as well. And lastly, this group over here may be working on their own. They decided to work on their own instead of working collaboratively. The teacher could be walking around the entire area and providing support for those students that need it. They could pull students to the back table and see where they're making mistakes on problems they're working on. So the entire math block is dedicated to the teacher providing support and helping those students achieve mastery in that specific skill. So you could see a classroom can be easily set up with these desks for 24 students and go up to at least 32 as you expand out the classroom. But you definitely want a teacher area in the back where you're able to provide some support and get some one-on-one with the students as well. Now, you'll definitely have more time in your day to provide that support because we're eliminating the instructional part of the day. So the teacher support is very important in a flipped classroom. Through the math session, the teacher is walking around. I've said that once again because it's very important that the teacher is able to bring students to the back of the room, revise, help provide one-on-one support, and also work in small groups for students who are working on a specific task. Now, as a teacher is working with one group, another group or a student may be having trouble. So because we've built this classroom to work collaboratively and work as a team, those students who have mastered the skill, the teacher can have them teach those students and engage them and help them with difficulties they may have with previous skills. So those students are, again, learning different skills of how to show problems to those students that they have already mastered to help discuss. And students can receive that support not only from the teacher, but from other students as well. So that could be, coming back to our classroom, that could be another table over here where a higher student may be helping another student who may be having a difficult time one-on-one. Okay. Now, that would be most of your class session as everyone works with one another. As class starts to end and wind down, a great idea would be to provide exit tickets, just a few problems. It doesn't have to be more than 4 or 5 problems, and just to get to see if students have mastered the skill. You don't want them to make any mistakes, and you can quickly grade them because you do not want to assign a lot of problems. And then before they leave for the end of the day, you can tell the students to either review that same instructional video, or they can move on to the next video as well. And those students can take new note sheets home to take notes on those instructional videos that you have created as well. So that's a great way to end the class, and check on students continually where they can get exit tickets at a location and solve those problems out and show that they're ready for the next skill. And still get extra support if they're still not quite ready, and watch the video again and come back to class the next day ready to work as well. Now, how can we get started in our own classroom? So a great way to get started is to pick a subject that you're comfortable with. I decided to pick math because that's a great subject to try it with. It's easier to create instructional videos, and there's plenty of instructional videos out there as well on the web, whether it's on YouTube or even something like Khan Academy as well. So you could choose that for instructional videos, but just know when you are creating these videos, you could definitely do several at a time. You don't want to make these videos very long. Just think about you're in the classroom and you're modeling for students. You don't want to stand in front of the classroom for 20 minutes discussing. A good short 5 to 10 minutes that would keep the students' attention and hit the core concepts would be a great way for them to watch the videos at home. Now, a great way is definitely you want to have them hear your voice, but you can also transition to other web-based videos. Another way to get started is definitely to create those cooperative groups in your classroom where students are comfortable working with one another and modeling appropriate behavior, like throwing in some Kagan strategies where students take turns discussing one another problems that they may have faced as well. And a great way to take your load off of creating all these videos, I think, is collaborating with another teacher. So if you're able to collaborate with another teacher who's also willing to try a flipped classroom, you can create these videos together. And you can create 4 videos while the other teacher creates another 4 videos, and you guys can share amongst one another to help as well. Now, I have a video in a next one where I could show you in action. Although it is a high school classroom, I think you could definitely apply it to an elementary school and see how these students are collaborating with one another in a high school, but still use it for a 5th grade classroom. As long as you have the classroom management and the videos and students collaboratively working with one another. So let's check that video out next.